Every evening, as I hit the gym for my workout session, I couldn't help but notice this man, roughly in his 50s, who seemed to have taken a sudden interest in me. At first, it was just casual glances, but soon enough, his stares became lingering and uncomfortable. He would position himself strategically near the machines I was using, pretending to work out while keeping a close eye on me. His approach was subtle yet unsettling. It felt like he was studying my every move, waiting for an opportunity to strike up a conversation. And strike up a conversation, he did. One day, as I was wrapping up my exercises, he sidled up to me with a forced smile that sent shivers down my spine. His words were innocent enough at first, commenting on the workout or the weather, but then they took a turn. His compliments shifted from general niceties to personal remarks about my appearance. He would say things like, "You look really good in those workout clothes," or "I can't help but notice how fit you are." It made me incredibly uncomfortable, like he was invading my personal space and crossing boundaries. As the days went by, his approach became bolder. He started standing closer, invading my personal space under the guise of helping me adjust the equipment or offering workout tips. But it was all a facade for him to touch me inappropriately, pretending it was accidental. Each time he touched me, I felt a wave of revulsion and helplessness wash over me. I wanted to scream at him to stop, but I was frozen with shock and disbelief. It was like a nightmare unfolding in broad daylight, and I couldn't wake up from it. The way he approached me, with his sleazy comments and unwanted physical contact, made me dread going to the gym. I felt anxious and on edge, constantly looking over my shoulder to see if he was lurking nearby. It was a constant battle between wanting to stand up for myself and fearing his retaliation or escalation. Finally, on the third day of his persistent harassment, I mustered the courage to report him to the front desk. I poured out everything, from his creepy approaches to his inappropriate touching. The staff listened attentively, and their support gave me a sense of relief and empowerment. When the police arrived and I recounted my experiences to them, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I felt validated and heard, knowing that action was being taken against this predator. It was a tough ordeal, but speaking up was the first step in reclaiming my sense of safety at the gym. Joining the gym 3 months ago was a big step for me. I wanted to get healthier and feel better, and the gym seemed like the perfect place to start. I loved using my wireless headphones there. They made my workouts more enjoyable without the hassle of tangled wires. One evening, while I was in the gym, something scary happened. I was focused on my workout, doing my sets on the seated leg machine, when I noticed that the music in my headphones started sounding weird, like static. It was a familiar sign that my headphones had disconnected from my phone because I had moved too far away. I paused my set and checked the phone compartment on the workout machine, but my phone wasn't there. Panic set in immediately. I looked around the gym, which was nearly empty except for a few people. There was a guy sweating heavily and another person sitting on a machine, engrossed in his phone. Feeling anxious, I approached the guy on the machine and asked if he had seen anyone take my phone. He seemed annoyed by my question, took out one earbud, and gave me a dismissive no before going back to his phone. I felt frustrated, but decided to check the security cameras at the front desk. As we reviewed the footage, the guy I had spoken to walked past me and quickly left the gym. It seemed suspicious. The video clearly showed him taking my phone just before leaving. My heart sank at the realization. I rushed outside to catch him, but he had vanished. What frightened me most was that I had recently disabled the passcode lock on my phone for convenience, not expecting this kind of situation. It meant that the person who took my phone had access to all my personal data, including apps, texts, pictures, and emails. The gym staff tried to track the guy's membership information, but there was no record of him being a member. It was unsettling to think that someone could come into the gym, commit a theft, and leave without leaving a trace. To make matters worse, I discovered that the thief had used my phone to send messages to my friend Tom, pretending to be me. Tom got worried and showed me the messages, which added to my stress and anxiety. The messages were alarming. The thief pretended to be me and asked Tom if he could stay at his place because of a fight with my parents. Tom, thinking it was me, agreed and even left the back door unlocked for the thief to enter late at night. Tom and I decided to check Tom's security cameras at his house, and what we saw was chilling. The same guy from the gym had sneaked into Tom's house, rummaged through his belongings, and left with valuable items. It was a violation of our privacy and safety that shook us both. We reported the incident to the police and the gym management, providing them with the video evidence. However, despite our efforts, we haven't received any updates or justice. It's unsettling to know that the person who stole my phone and invaded our privacy got away with it without consequences. I used to work nights at a 24-hour fitness center in New Jersey. I had a love-hate relationship with these shifts. I loved it because very few people would come in during the deep night hours, meaning fewer check-ins and less work for me. However, I also hated it because I had to spend the graveyard hour sitting at a desk doing nothing while everyone else was asleep. Maybe you would think many strange things would happen during these hours, or maybe you wouldn't. It's a gym, after all. What could happen, right? Actually, only one strange incident ever happened while I was there. I was sitting in a chair behind the counter, reading a magazine, when I noticed a guy in the gym. He was the only other person there, just pacing slowly down the gym, looking around. There's a cutoff between two different sections of the gym, the front and the back. He made a left turn past the wall that separated the two sections, and then he disappeared from my view. So, it was back to reading for me. 10 minutes passed, and I forgot the guy was even there. Then suddenly, everything went dark and silent. Literally, the power in the gym shut off, all the lights turned off, and all the music went dead. It was so dark I couldn't see 2 feet in front of me. Thank God our phones have flashlights these days, otherwise I wouldn't have known what to do. I turned on my flashlight and tried to think of what I should do next. I knew some kind of power box was in one of the storage rooms connected to the back section of the gym. I also knew that's exactly where the one guy working out happened to be. On my way there, phone flashlight in hand, I called out for the patron over and over. Now I was in the back section, still calling for him. Why on earth would he not answer me? There was something so eerie about being in a silent, pitch-black gym and seeing all the workout equipment only through a flashlight. I found the power box in the back storage area, or I guess what I thought was the power box. I tried flicking on and off every possible combination of switches, but the power did not come back on. Since I couldn't figure it out, I guessed it was on me to close up shop and wait for Kathy, the owner, to come fix it tomorrow morning. But first, I had to find that guy. I did a thorough scan of the whole back section, behind all the equipment and in all the janitorial closets. Nothing. The only other place I could check back there was the women's bathroom. I opened the door and called for him once more. My voice echoed into the seemingly empty bathroom. Still, I had to double-check to confirm. I made sure to point the flashlight in every possible direction so I could see every inch of the bathroom. Before I could open either of the stalls, though, I started to hear breathing noises, like sickly, deranged breathing noises. I had my hand on the door, ready to push it open, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I said, "Are you in there?" No answer. I got on my knees and looked under the stall door with my flashlight. There were 2 legs standing right behind the stall door, practically inches from my face. He was literally standing on the other side of the stall door. I quickly got up and left the bathroom, heart racing. I ran to the front desk and tried to figure out what to do. I tried calling the owner, aka my boss, but obviously she was asleep by this time. I left 2 different voicemails on her phone. The only other thing I could think to do was call the cops, and so I did. I didn't know what else to say, other than there was a suspicious man in our gym, and I was 90% sure he somehow cut the power. I hung up the phone and felt alone and horrified in the darkness and silence. Suddenly, a metallic hit sound came from across the dark gym, like one of the machine's weights being dropped. I shined the light down the gym and called for the patron once more, and then called out that we're closed and that he had to leave. Then, I think I saw him. I saw someone walking between 2 machines before getting too far from the light to see. It seemed like he was messing with me. Now I shined the light in the direction that he was walking, and I swear to God it looked like just at the edge of the light, there was a face looking at me. The blue and red lights from the cop car outside lit up the front section of the gym briefly. A cop knocked on the now dysfunctional front door, and I physically opened it to let him in. He took out his flashlight, greeted me and said he'd take a look around. All I saw from the front desk was the light of the officer patrolling the whole gym, including bathrooms and closets, before coming back to me and saying, "It's empty." He suggested that whoever it was left through the back door and that I should lock up and come back tomorrow morning. And that's exactly what I did. By the time I got back the next morning to check on things, Kathy was already there. Apparently, it was just a simple power outage the night before. Kathy and I checked the camera footage together, and those brief moments before the power went out, we checked for the guy I described, but he wasn't there. There was no footage of him entering the gym. There was no footage of him working out or even just walking around the gym. Kathy looked at me like I was alone, but I was too frozen with shock and confusion to care. I swore up and down to her that someone was there that night. To this day, I don't know if she believed me. I don't even know what to think of that night, but I know I saw someone there that night, regardless of what the cameras might have shown.